So today's call, Mindset Monday. I wanted to have a conversation around the double-edged sword of competitiveness, if you will. The double-edged sword of competitiveness. Brad, why are you smiling? How many people on this call, first of all, would self-identify as highly competitive? Okay, not everybody. All right, that's fine. Some of us are. Um, People generally only like to play board games with me once. I'm not a flipper of the table, and yet I am competitive. So what does that mean sometimes when others are playing? Some people want to do it for the fun of it, and I do it for the challenge and the opportunity to win. And yet, while that competitive nature is a benefit in a lot of different ways, what has to happen in order for you to win?
Everybody else has to lose.
Someone has to lose. And when this competitive nature also transfers over into your daily relationships or your business, this desire to win can oftentimes create what?
Tension, animosity,
Challenges.
certain types of feelings.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. And so I've got some notes here on some things that I wanted to share. Right. And there's a quote that came to the surface and it says, um, winning can actually cost you in the war of influence, trust, and respect. The very things you actually need if your goal is to lead. Having to win can actually cost you more than what it is you're going for. And oftentimes there's what's interesting is like my morning walks with my wife is like we're just having a conversation, we're talking, but the whole time I'm sitting here going, okay, like this is something that we need to talk about on our call, right? Going through certain scenario. And so like um when faced with difficult buyers, sellers, difficult agents, team members, family, just other situations, it's easy to, or my desire or my instinct is if I'm feeling a certain kind of way, I need to let you know why what you're doing is causing me to feel a certain kind of way and why I'm right and why you need to change. How many of you can identify with that feeling underneath a little bit, right? And oftentimes we go, I just need to make a point because it's principle and doesn't matter how much scorched earth behind that is, as long as the principle's been outlined. And I get that, right? So I wanted to share a couple different warning signs, and then I want to go over like a framework that you can use in the moment to identify and then course correct if that's your desire, right? So number one, winning in an argument doesn't actually mean that you actually won that person over. You can win proving your point, but in doing so, you could actually be losing influence, trust, or connection with the other person. If that person happens to be your life partner, what you're doing is you're creating a beat down individual that just lives in resentment. Having to win means living with a loser. On your team, having to win means being surrounded by losers. In a transaction, having to win means working with a loser. And no one wants that. And when you say it out loud like that, I'm like, ooh, I don't like that. I don't like that either. Right. Um, an argument settled by force or cleverness rarely ever changes the hearts and minds of others. Often, the other person simply retreats, resents, or resists. So you may think you won, but what it is you're actually losing the opportunity to build powerful relationships, right? Number two, winning creates a false sense of resolution. Sometimes we think it's over. When the goal is to win, you stop at the point where the other person concedes or gives up. That can often lead to deeper unresolved issues. Real progress isn't about silencing someone, it's about understanding each other well enough to move forward together. So that'll come into play, right? Number three, ego. Ego is what drives winning, but growth actually loses. The need to win oftentimes is fueled by ego. It's about proving that you're smarter, stronger, or more persuasive. The pursuit of growth actually requires humility. Think about the people that you love to follow the most. I follow humble, confident leaders that know how to say, you know what, we didn't get this right, or here's where I messed up. And that's really an interesting point. Let's expound on that. Let's take a look at that. Let's test it, right? So you might be right, but winning an argument may just simply be satisfying pride in the moment and stunting your personal growth over time. Number four, this goes back to Simon Sinek and the Infinite Game. It says the energy of winning is finite, but the energy of connection compounds. So every time you win at somebody else's expense, you drain that relational equity and you spend down goodwill like a bank account. Having to win drains relational equity and spends down goodwill. When you actually let go of the need to win, you're investing in the relationship. And that investment compounds into trust, influence, and collaboration. So there's four ways that we can do this, four ways that we can attack it, four ways we can identify it and course correct. And I'm going to share with you a really quick way to remember these adjustments. So number one, when you're feeling that urge to win, pause and breathe before responding. The moment your instinct is to punch back, push back, prove, pause. Take two or three deep breaths. And then those breaths, they slow down the reactive and defensive part of your brain. And ask yourself, okay, in this moment, do I want to be right or do I want to be effective? Do I want to be right or do I want to gain an ally? Do I want to be right or do we want to understand each other? Pause. Shift from proving to learning. Instead of having to prove that you're right, replace that instinct with, you know what? Help me understand your side of this. Walk me through. Help me understand your point of view on this. Curiosity oftentimes will disarm defensiveness. And if nothing else, curiosity signifies respect, even if you're disagreeing. If you can say, that's a really interesting point. Walk me through how you got there. Help me understand your position behind all that. Which takes us to number three, which is helping to find common ground early. So instead of highlighting how different these positions are, identify what do you agree on? Hey, you know what we both want? I think we can both agree that we both want what's best for our clients. I think we can both agree we both want what's best for the team. I think we can both agree we both want what's best for our daughter, right? That resets the frame from me versus you to us versus the problem. So it moves the competition from I win, you lose to how do we attack the position? How do we attack the problem? And then number four, this is tough. This is the toughest one for me, is power the practice of silence. You don't have to participate in every argument you're invited to. It's one of the hardest for me. I'm like physiologically and psychologically wired for the last word. I don't know where it comes from. My daughters, they do it and it's instant button, like it's trigger, button, button, button. And they do, and I'm just like, just shut up. And they're like, no. And I'm like, don't say another word, another word, And I'm like, I'm going to choke you out. I swear to God, I'm going to choke you out. I will never do that. Right. And yet, uh, power of the pause. You don't have to rebut every point. Sometimes the most powerful responses is letting the other person just feel fully heard. Silence communicates confidence, and you don't actually need the last word. And in fact, oftentimes silence does the heavy lifting. Some people just need to hear what they need to say out loud to then hear it and go, oh, when I say it out loud, that's not exactly what I intend. Let them hear it, let them self discover, and they may actually talk themselves out of the thing. And then number five is using what's called the let's test it strategy. So if the disagreement that you're having with somebody is about an idea or an approach, suggest testing it versus debating it. Just say, hey, you know what? Why don't we do it your way for a minute? Let's do this for 4 days. Let's do your way for 3 days. Let's do your way for a week. And let's see how it plays out. Instead of fighting with sellers, and making them wrong and you right and you're and or buyer or whatever. Say, okay, let's do this. Based on what we know, here's my position. Thank you for explaining to me and helping me understand where you're coming from, why you feel the way you feel. Let's do it this way. Let's test your way out for a minute. And let's know then at that point, we're going to revisit and come together and strategize on another way so we don't leave anything on the table. Would you agree? Right? Cool. So in bringing all this together, I wanted to give you just a quick three-part framework around how not having to win can be the key to true leadership, right? And it's called the 3R framework. And the 3Rs are recognize, reframe, reframe, or reframe, however you want to emphasize the syllable, and then respond. So, number one, recognize. And this is where you can't control the first thought that comes into your mind. However, you have the responsibility of every thought after that. You're the boss of you, right? First thought and the emotion and the feeling that comes from programming. Awareness is the first step in reframing and reprogramming your emotions. So catch yourself in the moment when you feel the urge to win. Notice what physical cues show up when you have to win. For me, I stopped listening. I started interrupting. I tend to jump into a conversation quickly when I feel the need. Like I just can't sit and let somebody talk stupid. Like that's I'm talking. I don't actually feel that. Like, but that's my inner thought, right? So I jump in and I interrupt. That's my physical cue to go. Okay, stop, recognize, right? And then number two is begin to reframe it. So knowing that like the way you feel is what you've done up to this point, and if you really desire to change, we recognize that feeling coming in, whether it's the tightness in the chest, the you're getting louder, interrupting. Right? I don't even catch myself doing it. My wife's like, you're yelling now. I'm like, I'm not yelling now. I really want to make sure you hear my point. And that's me attempting to dominate through volume as opposed to coming with a better argument or attempting to learn, right? So number two is reframing, and then ask yourself this one question. What matters more right now? Winning the point or the person? Ask yourself, what's more important? Winning the point or winning over the person right now? If we can shift the goal from proving to preserving, magic happens, right? Preserving the relationship, preserving trust, preserving collaboration. And then third, respond is choosing a response that actually builds a bridge instead of using a wrecking ball. So asking a clarifying question. Hey, help me understand what got you here. I can see your point, right? Tell me more. Have you done this before? Right? Find common ground. Okay, I think we both want this. I think we can agree that this is what the common goal is. And then suggest a test instead of a tug of war. How do you think we should do it? What should we attempt? What should we put in front of this now? Like what kind of a runway do we need? Let's do it this way first and then find out what we want to do later and then simply pause or simply pause and let the silence do the heavy lifting. How good is it actually feeling like you want to fight and then never talking to someone again? It never actually comes out, and like it's never as sweet as you think it is, right? And really the only reason I catch myself wanting, like, you ever have an argument with somebody and then like you walk away and the whole day you're thinking of like killer zingers you could have said, I should have said, I would have said, and you're like, you start making notes. You're like, man, I'm going to put that in the next text, or if they ever say that to me again, I'm going to go bazinga, right? And what is that? And that's really like, because you're, for whatever reason, you're hurt, or you're not feeling understood, or feeling disrespected, or not taking the time to be able to explain where you're coming from. And I think oftentimes in our position, think of this, right? We do this every single day, and we want people to trust us in our opinion. And when somebody asks a question or pushes back, there's something inside of us that's like, well, I don't have the time to explain the 13 years of experience that I've used to craft this response for you. And that's all they want, actually, is they're basically, by pushing back, saying, hey, help me understand why you're bringing this to the appointment, as opposed to then you saying, well, help me understand why you feel otherwise, etc. Right? So the three R's, right? Recognize, reframe, respond. I'd love to open the conversation here. What's your thoughts whenever I bring up this conversation? Because this is a hot topic for this weekend for in our household.
It's a good reminder. Uh, I think that it happens a lot. Sometimes you even see it on this call when I'm like, jumping in and trying to say something over someone, right? Get excited. And I think that it's yeah, I don't know. I feel like you're you have two choices in a lot of those situations, and it's either to be right or to give up your peace. Because when you fought to be right, but it hurts someone or the relationship, you don't usually find peace with that.
Do you need validation to be right?
No,
If
but
you know you're right,
right, right,
do you need anybody to tell you that you're right? And does someone have to be wrong for you to be right?
right.
And does
No,
your peace have anything to do with your own validation?
yeah, I think it's more an internal issue, right? And again, back to that subconscious programming of needing it maybe it's not needing to be right as much as it is that feeling of needing the validation.
For me, it is.
Mhm.
It's a huge thing. There are two main desires that everyone leads with: the desire to look good and be right. And that's ego driving, right? And the thing is the ego is a healthy thing. Ego creates progress. Ego creates um uh what's the word I'm looking for? Um uh, it'll come to me. Like progress, growth, innovation, right? Evolution, like ego, the desire to build better, faster, stronger, bigger. That's ego, right? Like that's that internal drive of like as human beings, it's if we didn't have that, we wouldn't procreate, we wouldn't grow, we wouldn't innovate, we wouldn't make food better, more accessible, all the things, medicine, science. Like someone's got to have an ego to say, I can do this better. I can make it more
Yeah,
efficient.
I agree. Ego is healthy to an extent, but it surely
Yes.
can be unhealthy.
Hundred. Same thing with chocolate cake. It's the thing is that it's not the food, it's the dose that kills you. Burgers aren't bad. Fries aren't bad. Fries, every meal is bad. Burgers for every meal can hurt you. It's like it's the dose, right? The dose is the poison. So it's the same thing with ego. Healthy ego creates growth and opportunity, but then again, at what cost if it's left unchecked? And this interpersonal desire to always win, to take everything off the table, to have a loser. And here's the challenge. It's glorified right now. Us versus them. Win at all cost.
You're seeing that like loud and clear online right now, just with people in their commenting and their responses and the keyboard warriors. It's all about my way or the highway. I'm right, you're wrong. It's hard. It's hard to watch.
Morning.
Number 4 is you don't have to participate in every argument in front of you. Silence sometimes preserves the trust, the relationship, the influence. What did somebody say? I don't remember exactly who said it, and I'm going to really butcher this, but someone said it's better to be silent and thought a fool than to open your mouth and prove it. Something to that effect. So, other thoughts around this? When's the last time you felt good only to turn around and go, "Oh, that's not as good as I thought."
I'd like
Ooh,
to add that I've been working on this the last couple of years. I used to be the one who, to prove my point, I needed to be louder. I needed to cut you with my words. Like I was horrible. And then I've been working on that a lot. And so I've learned now that if it costs me my peace, it's way too expensive and it's not worth it. And I'm okay with you thinking you're right. And even if I know that I'm right and you're proving yourself, like if you're going off on me, I'm just like, okay. And I realized looking at them behaving that way, that's how I used to look.
yeah.
Like I look dumb, you know what I mean? And so I'm just like, I'm okay with you thinking that you're right, and I'm gonna go to sleep at night and be okay with it. And
Mhm.
so I'm like, I've been so quick to just let it go. Like, okay.
Yeah.
And I move on down the road.
Same. I was in like speech and debate and stuff when I was in middle school and high school. So like I was trained to debate with people, but I had to shut it off. Like it really, I figured it out a lot like during COVID, like when there were so many like differing opinions on stuff. I was like, it's fine with me. Like I don't have to like, defend I don't have to defend myself.
But think about this, right? What's the number one way to win a debate?
Well, um, I mean, I don't know what answer
What
you're thinking.
what did they train you? What was the number one way to prepare for a debate?
Well, I mean, like I said, I don't know if you're looking for a certain answer because I know what they taught us.
So what did they teach you? I'm
I mean, they
curious
taught
because
us to,
an opinion
well,
around this and a training around this
I
as well.
mean, but for us, like we prepared, like, based on what our, debate was about. And then a
What
lot
did you
of
prepare? This is the key point.
like
What did you have to learn or study most?
the, at what the opposing side.
That's it.
Mhm.
The number one way to win a debate is to truly understand the position of the other side.
Mhm.
And that's how and so by understanding their side, you can start to create a commonality by saying, I think we both want this, and I believe you think and you want to do this, and here's what I'm proposing, and here's why I think here's a common ground, right? So and the thing is like the debate isn't about a fight, it's about education and learning and discovering and talking and counterpoint, right? So I think even just the core of that, like understanding how to debate really well, is truly about understanding the other side. I don't think we spend enough time attempting to understand the other's position. We just are steadfast and firm in ours, and we're infallible and we have armor. Our position is armor. There's no way that you could be right. When's the last time you ever sat across somebody you really disagree with and said, help me understand why you feel the way you feel? Like literally walk me through from start to finish. At the end of the day, right now in this climate, today, we all lose if someone has to win. That's it. Don't let your competitive nature be the thing that isolates you. We're at time. Thanks for another great Mindset Monday. Go crush. Go find commonality. Go learn something about somebody. There's the win. Take care.